Alright, hello everybody. Welcome back to a brand new video. In today's video I will be giving my opinions on the new FNAF movie trailer that just released yesterday. Sorry I could not get this out yesterday. It came out pretty late where I'm at, and I've had a lot of stuff to do, wrapping up the end of the school year and whatnot, but I figured I would come here today at least, and give you my thoughts on the FNAF movie trailers. This isn't going to be a live reaction. I've already seen the trailer. I know what's going on, but I'll break it down. So it'll show some of the scenes. I'll talk about what I think some of those scenes are. And yeah, we'll just get into this. And at the end, I'm talking about the one small problem I have with the movie. So yeah, let's go ahead and boot this up, and let's just get to watching.
Welcome to Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, where fantasy and fun come to life.
So back here, you can see a Foxy plushie right there, very cute. And then right here, you have the ball pit, of course. You have the Showtime button. So the Showtime button from FNAF VR is back. If you remember in FNAF VR, there was a button that said Showtime, and it was supposed to be coded to where you would press it and the animatronics would come and perform. But that was scrapped from the game. They said it would be added in a later update, and it never got added. But it's here in the movie, so that's pretty cool.
Hit it, guys!
And God, those animatronics look really, really good. So you can see over in the corner, there's Chica. Here's Freddy right here. And then Bonnie over on the end. And all of them look absolutely fantastic. It's like you took these models and ripped them straight out of the game. This is beautiful. They look so good. And the way they're moving, fantastic. So right here, kind of interestingly enough, we see that Mike is going to the pizzeria, which is at this point closed. And looks like it's pretty derelict, like it's been run down for a while. So that's interesting. So we're working at a closed pizzeria. The one Mike here, Mike here is working at a closed pizzeria. The question is why? Why is he being hired for a security job at a place that's closed? And I have my ideas, and we'll talk about it in a second. Here's our first look at Josh Hutcherson as Mike Schmidt. I think he works for the role really well. He's about what I imagine Mike Schmidt would be like. You know, 20-something, adult, male-looking, pretty frightened here. I think he looks very, very good. So, yep, there he is.
It means you.
This, we get our a little bit of a wide shot here of the pizzeria. We see that the prizes, prize corner thing from FNAF VR is here. I take it that this hallway leads to the office. You have the dining room, which you can kind of see over to the left here, or to the right. My bad. Dining room over to the right. You have like Bonnie and Chica, stained glass kind of between the seats. Very cool. Looks like the kitchen's over there. I guess that's our first official look at the kitchen over on the right. So yeah, prizes in the middle. Looks like this is one of the hallways. Very cool. You can see some of the drawings and stuff on the wall.
You've been selected as Freddy's.
And then, yeah, right here you can see him pull back the curtain. And there's Bonnie. Again, the models just look really, really, really awesome. Looks absolutely terrified. Very cool. Again, you can see another shot of, there's the cupcake. And there's Freddy Fazbear over there. Looking very awesome. Then you see he turns the lever on right here, and it lights up the location. So my idea is potentially, and you'll see there's a scene later in the trailer with William Afton. It's a very short little moment, but we'll talk about it there as well. But I might be just totally wrong here, but I think possibly William Afton is wanting to reopen Freddy Fazbear's for business. So he hires Mike as the security guard to go back to the place now that it's run down and derelict. Basically, go back to the place, make sure nothing is stolen, make sure nothing gets stolen, and reboot the power and whatnot so that the place can eventually reopen. However, as we know, the animatronics are haunted, and the whole story will go down from there. And maybe William knows this, and maybe because of his relationship with Michael, which may or may not be a thing in this movie, we'll see that he maybe is tricking him into going to the place with haunted animatronics. I don't know. But that's my guess, is that William Afton is wanting to reopen Freddy Fazbear's, so he has Mike Schmidt work as the security guard there to go back and turn on the power, and that's when all the hijinks ensues. So here, yeah, you can get a really good look at the cameras. The Celebrate poster's over in the corner. You get this, like, Fazbear Entertainment note. You can see all of the little cameras and stuff. You see, like, the hallway, the show stage, the dining area, supply closet, hallways, looks like maybe a back alley, perhaps. And then it zooms in right here on a close-up of all the animatronics, and they look amazing. This looks like it has been ripped straight out of FNAF 1. You know, the image with the animatronics all standing on the stage. This looks exactly the same. They all look really, really, really awesome. So I am very pleasantly surprised by this. You can see over here, to the right of that, is the supply closet, which also looks like it's basically been ripped straight out of the game, except maybe with a few more tools and stuff. But yeah, it looks absolutely incredible. So right here, you can see Mike is turning around, and you see Freddy Fazbear behind him over to the left. So I'm thinking this is probably at the beginning of the movie. He's looking around the place, whatever, and he goes to the show stage, then he turns away from the show stage for a little bit, looks back, Freddy is gone, and now he's suddenly behind him. I think this is like a pretty freaky shot, just seeing Freddy kind of behind Mike like this, just staring. You have no idea what he's doing. He's just there. It's very interesting. So yeah.
We're going to have so much fun together.
So this scene is really interesting. You can see Mike Schmidt, whatever, he's getting strapped to kind of this device. So you can see they kind of lock him in with this bar over his chest, and then right here on his hand. I think this is probably an animatronic repair station, would be my guess, because the next shot has this kind of mask, which you can make out the vague silhouette of Freddy. You can see like his cheek over on the right and on the left. You can see the mouth kind of hanging down at the bottom, red eyes, and a lot of buzzsaws in the mouth. I think that's just supposed to be the animatronic mechanisms that are kind of amplified to look like buzzsaws, just, you know, for the movie. I don't know that there's necessarily I don't think this is supposed to be like a saw trap or anything. I don't think it's supposed to intentionally be deadly. I just think it's supposed to be the insides of the animatronic, which obviously when coming over your face would absolutely shred you. So yeah, so this is a very cool scene. You can see the mask that's being used. This Freddy head is beat up, so you can see kind of in the bottom left here, you have some like wiring and stuff on the bottom of the mask. So this is definitely an older Freddy head. Pretty cool. A lot of people have been like making fun of this scene, but I actually think it's pretty neat. I like this idea. So right here you can see the silhouette of Foxy, just chilling there. And we see, for the first time in this trailer, we have Abby just chilling there, looking at the stage, and then here's Freddy, and his eyes turn red whenever he sees Abby, so clearly they want something to do with her. I have no idea what, though. And then right here, we get to see our first look at Elizabeth Lail playing Vanessa. I take it that's who this is. As So she's supposed to be like a cop, supposed to be a police officer in the movie, and supposedly she knows a little more about Freddy Fazbear's and what's going on than we do, as you've potentially heard from the plot synopses and all that. So it's very interesting to see her here. She's at the pizzeria. She's looking at something. So that's interesting for sure. And then right here is one of the, if not the most interesting scene in the trailer. You have Mike Schmidt here standing in the woods with what look to be the 5 missing children, judging by the fact that they're all wearing something that kind of insinuates the animatronic they possess. So you can see boy on the left, far left here, has little bunny ears to look like Bonnie. The third kid has a hook on his hand, kind of like Foxy. The fourth kid, that's like pretty much almost completely covered up by Mike. You can see he's wearing a top hat, which is very much like Freddy. And the girl all the way on the right has the yellow shirt with white over it, which looks a lot like Chica. Which leaves boy number 2 to be Golden Freddy, which I guess you could say he's got blonde hair. So that is very interesting, though, because we've always taken Cassidy to be the kid that possesses Golden Freddy, and most of us assume Cassidy as female. So it's interesting to see that, presumably in this movie, we have a male kid possessing the Golden Freddy suit. So we'll see how that goes. If Golden Freddy's even in this movie, I'm sure he is. There's 5 missing children for a reason. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I don't know what's going on here. They all run away. And then as you can see right here, we get this shot of William Afton. Our first official shot of him in the movie. So he's clearly sitting in what looks to be some sort of potentially home office. He has like a degree on the wall here. He's got a bunch of files and whatnot behind him. And, you know, he's looking at something. He's kind of giving an almost facetious look, I would say. So maybe this is where the police are interrogating him about Freddy Fazbear's. And so he's, you know, listening to what the police have to say so that he can form his rebuttal and say why he's innocent. Or potentially this is him, if he is the manager of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, this could be him hiring Mike onto the job for the first time. I don't think this scene is particularly going to be a scene that is very revealing of William's character. I think the scene will be early in the movie, and I think it will set William up to be a kind-hearted gentleman, to obviously eventually lead to the twist later that he is the murderer. So it's kind of interesting to see what's going on here. Pretty cool. And then right here we have Mike laying in the woods, and right after that we have this other security guard who is supposedly about to get himself killed by the animatronics. So that's pretty interesting here. We see Foxy right here and Abby going into the ball pit. And there's Foxy. He opens his mouth. We get a really angry looking Freddy and Bonnie. So here's Freddy. And again, as you can see, the models here, not models, but the animatronics here are so good looking. They look absolutely fantastic. It's really, really nice to see that they're staying incredibly faithful to the designs. And there is something about this scene that kind of peeves me, and we'll talk about that here at the end. And then, of course, you can see Bonnie here is also looking pretty mad. The red eyes. So, yep, that's pretty cool. And then we get Five Nights at Freddy's, and then October 27th. So, overall, I am absolutely adoring this trailer. I think this trailer does such a good job at capturing the spirit of Five Nights at Freddy's and what made it scary. When this Five Nights at Freddy's movie was announced all the way back in like 2015 or whatever, and this is something I've thought of just throughout the years anyway, while this movie has been in the works, is just I feel like it would be hard to do a Five Nights at Freddy's movie because of the way FNAF handles its horror. FNAF's horror is very much kind of subtle. It's very subtle. It's very much in the background. I don't think any one individual element necessarily makes the game scary. I don't think it's just the animatronic designs or just the music or just the atmosphere or just the gameplay, but it all works together in this perfect storm that makes it really, really stressful and really, really scary to play, especially in games like FNAF VR, where you're seeing the experience in front of you. I think a large part of the scares with Five Nights has been the interactivity and the stress that comes with being there, sitting in the chair, managing your power, managing the doors and the lights and all that. So it would be really hard to capture that in a movie, but somehow I feel like they've done it, interestingly enough. Even in scenes like where Mike is just walking around, like right here, where he's just walking around the pizzeria, looking at the animatronics. Scenes like this, and then like turning on the power, they all just kind of give a really stressful feeling, and especially right here, when he turns around and Freddy is behind him. I think this is probably the scene in the trailer that most captures that spirit of FNAF, because Freddy's not supposed to be there. He's supposed to be on the stage, so when he's not on the stage, it's really it's like disturbing, and he's just giving this cold, dead stare. So I really like the way this trailer is handled, some of the subtlety of the scares, and just giving that general nervous feeling that I feel everybody has when they play FNAF, or at least I do. I feel really nervous. Your hands get sweaty. You're like, what if I screw up? What if I do this wrong and that wrong? And I think that's really, really good. I don't see many signs that this movie's going to be like a boring slasher movie like every other recent horror movie ever or whatever. This feels very unique. The only part that feels slightly slasher-esque is right here with the mask lowering on Mike's face, but this doesn't seem like a movie that's going to rely on an excessive kill count or just blood and gore and random stuff like that for its scares, which is good because it's never what FNAF has been about. FNAF has never particularly been gory. It's the subtlety of the scares, it's the atmosphere, it's the backstory, and it's the overall looming presence and that feeling that you're going to mess up. That's always what's made Five Nights at Freddy's so creepy, and I think this trailer does a really, really good job at showing that. My one little problem with this trailer, and this will be with the movie in general, is I don't particularly, like everybody else, I'm not particularly a fan of the red eyes. I get why they did it. I think it would be hard to do the black eyes with the pinprick white pupils in a movie. I feel like that would be hard to do and hard to do well. But the red eyes are kind of corny. They give me Terminator vibes. These are some crazy rogue AI, we're going to take over the world robots, which obviously it's not, but it's just kind of the feeling it evokes. But also, I'm not a huge fan of the expression here, because you can see right here, Freddy is clearly, angry. He's, his eyebrows are leaned in, his eyelids are, squinted, and then right here, same with Bonnie, he doesn't look very happy. And I'm not a huge fan of this, because I feel like something, and this is something that, FNAF as a whole has kind of gotten worse with as the games have gone on. I feel like a large portion of what made the first run of animatronics, these original 4 animatronics, so creepy, is that throughout the entire game, they gave the same cold, dead stare. You know, they would not show any expression no matter what they were doing and no matter where they were, other than a cold, dead stare and, like, for some of the characters, like a cold grin. Like Freddy kind of always looks like he's smiling. But they're not really, they don't ever really show emotion. And I think makes the game really, really unsettling. But it's another change that, like, I understand why the movie did it the way it did. I understand that having the animatronics with, like, a personality and with character is more intriguing. Making them show emotion is more intriguing, maybe to the general audience, but I think it maybe takes away from a little bit of the scare factor and makes it look maybe a bit goofy. But other than that, I think this trailer looks amazing, and this has given me nothing but high hopes for this movie. I think Blumhouse can absolutely pull off a fantastic FNAF movie here, and I really think they're doing a really, really good job. I mean, I just have that one little pet peeve with the eyes and with the expression, kind of the emotion that's being shown. But other than that, I really do feel like this is a trailer that really shows a movie that is going to be very much faithful to its source material and is going to kind of exemplify the same kind of horror that the original games had. I think fans are going to love this trailer, and I think fans, if the movie is as good as this trailer, I think fans are going to love the movie. I hope the plot isn't too, like, silly. I kind of hope it's not the, like, William Afton death trap thing where he's, like, rigged the pizzeria to kill people, because I think that's just goofy. I would much rather this more so just be the regular FNAF story, you know. William Afton, the 5 children, kind of make it a revenge plot. I think that would be the best way to go about the story. But this trailer gives me very, very high hopes for this movie. So yeah, really quickly, I guess we can talk about the poster and go back to the original teaser and see if we can maybe infer anything else about this movie. Alright, so I'm here on the IMDb page, and you can see yesterday, along with the teaser trailer coming out, the official poster for the movie dropped. It's very simple, but I like it. I like it a lot. Just Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy, you know, lined up. Reminds me a lot of the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 title screen. Looks a lot like that, and I like that. It's kind of replicating that FNAF title screen feel. Can you survive Five Nights at Freddy's, October 27th? Again, the animatronic designs just look absolutely impeccable. I love it. I love it. I love it. And then they have individual teasers. So there's Freddy, and there's Foxy, and there's Bonnie, and there's Chica. So they each have individual posters as well, on top of that poster where they're all together. So, yep, they look very good. No complaints here, but there's also nothing really to see. I do like that it's all masked under this purple lighting. I take it that was an intentional choice. I take it they did that because they wanted to remind people of the purple guy, William Afton. You know, purple is just a color at this point that is synonymous with Five Nights at Freddy's. So that is interesting that they chose a kind of hazy purple background for these. And you can, like, see the fur coming off of them. It's really good. The last thing I wanted to do was look at this picture. Again, this was the very first teaser that was dropped for this movie. So it is interesting, now that we've seen the teaser trailer, that I think the Golden Freddy people were right. I think the character we're seeing in this teaser, which I did not actually post a video about, and I probably should have, but I think the Golden Freddy people are right. I think we are seeing Golden Freddy in this teaser. because obviously in the trailer, Freddy Fazbear himself has both his ears. You can see especially right you see especially right here, he's got both his ears intact, especially his left ear, which is what's missing in the poster. So I think this is Golden Freddy, and I think they removed his ear just to make him more distinguishable from Freddy Fazbear. So that is interesting, and they are standing outside of this abandoned Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Looks very interesting, for sure. So I think this is Golden Freddy, and I think that is probably Abby standing in front of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. So it's very interesting because from the trailer, it seems like while the animatronics are definitely going after Mike, because you see Freddy kind of creeping up behind him, and you see the mask that's coming down on Mike's face. I also think that they want Abby, because it's when they see Abby that their eyes turn red, or at least the trailer would have you believe so, when Abby is looking up at the stage and Freddy's eyes turn red. And obviously in this teaser, where this potentially Abby right here is holding on to Golden Freddy's hand like that, what do they want with Abby? Why do they want her? Because in the games, it's almost a flip-flop, where the animatronics are fine around children, but it's around adults that they start to act up. So it is going to be interesting to see why they want Abby particularly, and why they want to kill Mike. It'll be interesting to see if Mike and Abby are related to William in this movie. I'm not sure. But yeah, that's kind of all I have to say about this movie. I am nothing but hyped. I think this has been a fantastic way to show this movie to the world. I am very, very excited. But that is going to do it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed my little analysis on the FNAF movie trailer, go ahead and leave a like, share, subscribe, do what you must. Or maybe don't. Maybe you hate FNAF and you hate watching this. Then leave a dislike. And don't share, don't subscribe. Do whatever. Who knows? But that'll do it for me, guys. And I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.